There we go. Did that work?
Did that work? Can you guys hear us or see us? Not too sure.
I think there's a little bit of a lag.
There is a lag.
Yes.
Yes. Okay,
Yay.
sweet.
Good.
Let me adjust one more thing. Cam audio. Yeah, that's fine.
You go to that other tab.
This one?
Yeah.
All right, guys. So this is a typical thing for us. We're still trying to get adjusted to everything right now. We realized we had the camera and the mic off. Everything was fine. It's just those two needed to be turned on. So that was on us. So, but how's everyone going? What's up? How are you guys doing? Post-opening weekend, the Horror Nights?
Yeah.
By the way, can you see us well? Does the lighting need to be turned up a little bit?
A little dark.
Oh, I'm turning it down.
It's going to be a Q&A.
Yeah, so
you guys can ask questions.
Yeah, you guys definitely can ask us any questions anytime. What we're going to try to do in this video is we're gonna try to stay up to date with the comments. I know last video we definitely fell like 30 minutes behind, but in this video we're going to go ahead and pretty much talk to you guys about our experience and what happened for opening weekend. We're going to talk about our ranking for the houses and the scare zones. We're not going to try to give so many spoilers because we know some of you don't want anything spoiled. So we're going to try to keep it spoil free for this.
Yeah.
But we're going to go ahead and just go over all of that for you guys.
You can send questions in the chat if you want. We will talk about whatever comes up, but also like
even if it's not Horror Nights
our
related,
experience from the weekend. So I don't know how many people watched our video so far from opening weekend, but opening night we got absolutely drenched.
You know that feeling when your socks and your shoes are just really soaked where you can't tell if you're still walking in the ocean or not? That's how it was for us. So we got there for Stay and Scream. We actually got there around 2:00 at the park on Friday night for opening day. And we met up with a couple of people. I actually got to see a couple of viewers there. So if you guys are one of those viewers who are watching, hello again. That was really cool getting to meet you guys there. But we got to Stay and Scream, which it's actually a little different this year. We went to the Simpsons area for Springfield to do Stay and Scream. And that's not where they're loading it. They actually started loading in Central Park on the side of Hollywood. Mm-hmm. So we went in there, we waited for a bit. And then right before it started pouring down, they started moving us into the line. We did Hill House first, Haunting of Hill House, which that was amazing. But we got escorted into the Animal Actors stage show, which has covering. It has like a roof over top, which is great because it started pouring. And we're like, oh, sweet. We're in here. We'll be saved. 10, 15 minutes maybe. Yeah. Right? And then they started letting us out to go to the house. Well, for you guys who don't know the layout of the park, Animal Actors inside the park, of course. But where Hill House is where we had to go all the way backstage, completely out, way where there was no covering or anything. And we were like standing in this pouring down rain. We got soaked, went in the house, left. It was still pouring down. So that whole experience, we didn't really get to film because we didn't want to get the camera wet or anything. And then it doesn't matter because the bag got soaked and our gimbal that we got was ruined. We had a nice little gimbal and we had to bury that the other day. Yeah. But we got a brand new gimbal. So we're good.
Yeah. It was still fun. It was still a great night, but the rain definitely put a damper on it. We did not take our own advice. We forgot to bring umbrellas or ponchos or anything like that. We actually had an umbrella in the car. And
we had 2 umbrellas in the car.
Before we got out of the car, we were like, should we bring it? And Brian was like, I checked the radar. It doesn't look bad. So we just left them and then ended up having to buy ponchos because it was miserable.
Yeah. No, it was like at first it was kind of fun because the entire park, we were all like chanting and cheering. Like everyone was hyped. It was excited. So even though we were kind of bummed out, it was still fun. Like we still enjoyed it. But then by the time we got to the second hour of getting completely drenched, we were miserable. It was cold. Which is cool. But the second night was a lot better. The second night was so much better.
And one thing about like when it rains, and if you go on a night that it rains, like you'll still have a fun time. But one thing about it is they do the streets don't go out if it is like absolutely pouring. So you won't have the streets. And then if it's wet on the ground at all, they will not put the stilt walkers up on stilts. They'll just be like on the ground on their like regular shoes. And it kind of takes away from the experience just a little bit. Like our first night, we were like, with all the rain and everything, we were like, oh, the streets are not the greatest this year. We were a little let down. But then night 2, they were just so much better because of the weather. Yeah,
they had, honestly, like, even the second night felt like they had so many more scare actors on the streets, even the houses itself.
There are some costumes, too, that go out in the streets that can't get wet. So they, like, won't send them out. And that first night, there were some, like, streets that were just very bare because there were like maybe 3 or 4 actors in the street.
It's just a handful.
Because some of the costumes just can't get wet.
Yeah. So they had a lot more, and also they had stilt walkers too, which was nice for.
We do have some questions. So how packed was it in the stay and scream area, shoulder to shoulder, or some distancing? So I feel like there was actually a decent amount of distancing up until they started moving everybody. And then they kind of pushed you in.
So the stay and scream area, they actually, the way they did it is they split it off into 2 sections this time. They had one section that stayed back in the Central Park area, which was going to go to Haunting of Hill House and the Beetlejuice houses. That is one line for both of those houses. And then when they start letting you into the houses, they let you split off and pick which house you want to go to. But then for those who want to go to like the Simpsons area where Duff Beer is and all that stuff, that leads out to Scary, Ohio. That house opened up for the stay and scream, which was for the other part. Now, they pretty much let you go and pick which line you wanted to be in, and then you were kind of just free to kind of stay wherever you wanted to be. There wasn't really like anybody shoulder to shoulder necessarily. I mean, you could spread out if you want or not. But once they pretty much opened the gates, we were all hand in hand running to the houses. It was an insane stampede to Hill House and Beetlejuice. But
we also didn't do the Finnegan's stay and scream area, and we didn't see it, so we're not sure about the Finnegan's area, how that is as far as like distancing and everything. However, the Springfield area, I feel like it was fine. Everybody kind of like spread out and kept their distance up until they started moving people into the lines, and then the lines all night are not distance.
Yeah, no. There's no distancing in the park. Like if you think there is any distancing, there really isn't. Like they're free to go around.
Especially the streets. Like Central Park is a small street, and that was like actually, night 2, it was very packed.
Yeah, Central Park was packed, but the San Francisco area where Crib TV was, that was the worst. And we'll get to that in a second as to why. But I want to comment back to Zoe. She mentioned something about the Treeks and Foons. There's still there's words, but there's still word going around that they will have a bubble machine there. They just didn't have it for opening weekend. But I've heard that they're supposed to either this coming weekend, and if they don't have it this weekend, they said they may not even have it at all. I don't know as to why. There was next to the stage, there was actually a large container that people were expecting to be for the bubble machine, and then opening night was gone. So I have no idea as to why.
Yeah. So, and then we did get another question. Did you like Crib TV? Because I thought it was boring because there weren't any. So our first night, like we said, we went through and we were like, this is disappointing.
Everything was disappointing.
Like no actors, like they're not really doing anything.
But we understood why too. Yeah. It's not like the event itself. It's the first night.
The second night, it was much better. I will say, though, that a lot of the other scare zones, like a typical Horror Night scare zone, the actors are coming at you. They're, like, coming up behind you and stuff. Crib TV is not like that at all. No. They're, like, more so just, like, for show. So they're on their stages, and they're kind of, like, doing their thing, but they're not, like, coming after you.
There's no scare actors in Crib TV roaming. They're all set to their own little stage and set piece, which I understand why, because that zone is it's small, but it's also set up for that. They each have their own specific areas they got to stay in.
That's kind of how
to keep character.
That's kind of how the Rob Zombie scare zone was as well. Yeah. It's not really a like roaming scare zone where like the scare actors are coming after you because it's just so tiny that they don't have any space.
Yeah, and that's the issue too, is because opening weekend may be different than the coming weeks for that zone, because when we went, there's a lot of people with their phones and their cameras recording, taking photos. And in that area, it just seemed like there was a huge crowd amongst each stage piece that they had, or a set piece for Crypt TV, because they just wanted to get a video of all the characters pretty much just doing their own thing.
Yeah.
So that's why we didn't really like it too much, because you couldn't even really get up to the scare actors much. You kind of just was tucked in really tight with the groups in the area. But yeah, I mean, that's that. And
it depends on the time of the night. There were times we went through Crypt TV and there was like nobody in there. And then there were times we went through and it was packed. So it's very like random.
Oh, Link. I'm probably saying this wrong. Link Cook. Link Cook. It was great meeting you too, man. Yeah, we were stoked. We got a chance to get some ponchos afterward, which, I mean, we were soaked already, but the good thing about it is it actually helped keep us warm,
because it got cold.
We started to get really cold afterwards, but that was a good purchase that we made.
Yeah, definitely bring like, if you even think it's gonna rain, definitely bring like umbrellas, ponchos, whatever. And then also maybe like a change of shoes, because I actually ended up buying flip-flops at the Universal Studios store because I wore Converse and they were soaked through and my feet were blistering so badly. So bring a change of shoes if you have room for it.
That was a pain. But we did also get a question from Blue Hawk debating whether to go because of the mask or plexiglass. So the biggest, actually, plexiglass in 2020 for Brides and Tooth Fairy was the biggest disappointment for me. But for this year, certain characters have full mask instead of just doing a regular like prosthetics like they normally would have done. And I'm not trying to spoil too much for you guys, but that was the most disappointing thing because the plexiglass surprisingly wasn't too bad. They didn't have it like the hard, pretty much plastic like they did last year, which was really thick and noticeable. This is like very like thin, transparent sheets. Like it is so thin. And for some of the houses, they actually work it very well because they put it in areas that don't even have scares happening. So it throws you off. So and not all the scares are actually covered in plexiglass. And I think that's the cool part because some of them we saw with plexiglass and going through the house, like, we're not going to get jumped at. And then there's a couple people that were kind of in our face and we're like, whoa, it really threw you off. But
it depends on the cast because the first time we went through, and I'm sure we'll get through like our favorite houses and everything, but the first time we went through Icons, we were a little disappointed. But then the second time we went through later that same night, it was a different cast and they had a few sets in them. They're like getting used to their scares and everything. And one of them literally put me on the ground because she scared me so bad. She was
right over us. It was great. I was just like, whoa.
And I feel like I was a little bit like, I had my guard down because of the plexiglass. I was like, none of them are going to like come at me or anything. And I literally turned around and she was like on top of me.
On it. There's even some areas where like we went through the house the first time and then we went again the second time. And you could definitely tell where the scare actors were getting used to the plexi, where they were finding ways around it, underneath it, coming really through it. I mean, the event is awesome. Like this year is really going to be incredible because seeing it from the first night, and especially it wasn't great the first night because it poured down. I mean, the streets were really pretty much just dead zones. So that's why we didn't get the whole vibe. But going to the second night and seeing the difference in just the day that it made, it makes us look forward to the next coming weeks. It's going to look awesome. Yeah. It really is.
Daniel asked, scariest house in HHN you've ever experienced?
Oof.
I think mine has to be the first weekend of what was it, 29 with, why am I blanking on the name?
Not Dead
Exposure.
Oh, Dead Exposure.
Dead Exposure, Patient Zero. Was that 28? That was
2018.
The first weekend of that, they had the lights. It was almost like pitch black in between the strobes. So in that house, if you didn't go in that house, the premise was that like you were taking this vaccine and it made you like partially blind, and they would have strobes, but in between the strobes, it was like pitch black in the house. And they changed it after like the first weekend or first 2 weekends, probably because of complaints. But the first weekend, it was terrifying because it was just pitch black and then it would strobe and you'd have like a scare actor in front of you.
Yeah.
So that's probably the scariest one that I've been in.
And then for me, it's like it ranges because certain houses I would say was scarier, but certain experiences I had really freaked me out. Like I went into the Shining in HHN27 as well as Scarecrow the Reaping completely by myself. Like I was the last person to go to the house and there was no one else in line. So it was just me walking through. I think that's one of the scariest experiences I had. I think Scarecrow would take that. Scarecrow the Reaping, going back completely by myself at the end of the night, I was not having a good time. I was just like, I didn't even know why I was there. I was like, I want to do it, but it was just not a good idea. So, but hey, thanks for the super chat though. We really appreciate it. Also, Daniel from Costa Rica, what's up? How's it going? You say, what internet page do you use to see the weather? So we just use the Weather Channel, and Stephanie uses AccuWeather. We get different little apps just because for some reason in Florida, the weather varies differently on each app. Yeah. So we try to get different ones, just kind of see what the like the holding ground is.
Because sometimes mine will be like, oh, there's no rain, and then his will be like 90% chance of rain. So we always just go based off of whichever one's worse, just to be
prepared. Even though we forgot our umbrellas, anyways. Aloha to Aloha Jax. Thank you. And then
what was your favorite house?
Favorite house. Okay, so at some point we'll pretty much actually we can just start it now.
We just don't want to get behind in the
we don't want to get behind in the comments like we did last time. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and do a ranking of our houses. We'll get into that in just a second, and we'll list what our favorite house is based on the rankings. So yeah. But how do we feel about Case Files? That was a lot better than I thought it was gonna be. We didn't really know what to expect, which I think is what surprised us.
It's crazy because we've heard a lot of mixed reviews about Case Files. Some people really love it. Some people really don't like it. And everybody who I've talked to who does not like it, their reasoning is because they don't know what's going on. Yeah. So I feel like if you kind of understand the storyline before you go in it, it makes a lot more sense. Not that there's like a bunch of storyline to go off of, but if you kind of understand what's going on, it makes a little bit more sense. And it's a pretty house. There's a lot of like really cool effects, I would say. Don't you think so?
It's just awesome. It's hard. Like, we really don't want to do any spoilers, but it's hard to get into detail in any of these houses. But Case Files is one of those houses. As you walk in, I mean, there's just so much like HHN like lore all over. As like we went through the house twice or 3 times.
3 times because we did once on Saturday.
Did we?
Right?
No, we didn't. We thought about doing it. We went through the house twice, and the first time we went through, we were just trying to soak it in. But the second time, me and Steph tried taking as much time as we could in that first room, like reading everything on the wall. Everyone's like, come on, hurry up. And we're like, hold up. We got to look.
It is one of those houses that you want to walk through slowly and look at everything because there's just so much detail in it. Yeah. And the house attendants are all like, keep walking. And you're like, hold on.
Also, Zoe asked too about Springfield with a bathroom. Now, there is actually a bathroom there for Stay and Scream. But the first time, is it blurry? Hold up. Let me check. Our camera's been a pain in the butt. I can't tell if it's getting blurry or not.
There we go.
Oh, well, I may make it worse as I just did that. One second, guys. We're doing our own thing, which is never good. Still looks a little blurry. Hold up. Maybe that'll work. Anyways, Springfield, though, it does have a restroom. I just think that the team members and all, they were still working on how everything has to go. Because they were like, one person told us, like, yeah, you can go to the restroom and let us cross, go to the bathroom. And then the other person is there is like, no, you can't. You have to stay here. Then we were stuck there for 30 seconds. And then they said, okay, go ahead. You can go to the bathroom. As we were leaving, they said, oh, come out over here. So we went over there, and then we got yelled at that we couldn't leave that area. I think they all just weren't ready just yet. But I would expect it to have the restroom over there set and go. I think they're still setting up for things to happen.
Yeah, they'll have restrooms in any Stay and Scream location. I feel like they wouldn't make you sit there for an hour or more without a restroom.
Yeah, so, we're getting – all right, so behind. Real quick, I do want to say some to Blue Hawk, should you go? I would say yes. Yes. If you're planning on going, go later in the event because I think there'd be some – they may take some plexiglass away. Yeah. Because there was areas where some of the tech people were working on the plexiglass because they had to keep cleaning it. It was just getting – there's some parts that were really rough.
My prediction, and this is also from like a past scare actor point of view, my prediction is that at least some of the areas with plexiglass will get broken or torn down and they just won't replace it.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right. Matthew Costanzo, did we get stuck in the river? Yeah, we were in the river. For Wicked Growth, we were in the river. I got my boat out and was ready to go. All right, so now let's go ahead, and I know we just got a question recently from Andrew on our favorite house. We're actually going to go ahead and just do our ranking for the houses of this overall weekend and what we thought and the scare zones. Now, this is going to be based on Friday and Saturday. Friday, they were one way, and I think Saturday pretty much like moved a couple and solidified certain houses for us. But our favorite house of the event, which is our number 1, 2, was Wicked Growth, Realm of the Pumpkin. That was by far the best house we experienced for this year so far. And it's different. And we're not going to go into much detail, but from number 2, okay, so number 2 is Haunting of the Hill House. Boom, woo, confetti. Haunting of the Hill House was our number 2, but Hill House and Wicked Growth are 2 completely different styles of houses, so it's hard to really like compare the 2.
Yeah.
But Wicked Growth was beautiful. Going at night to
really
see
pretty,
that,
yeah.
Oh, it's such a pretty house, and it's just fun. And I think that house is going to evolve over time as well. So we look forward to that.
Yeah.
But then Hill House probably has one of the best scares of the event. It's probably the scariest house. I was expecting Texas Chainsaw to be that one, but Hill House was scary. It reminded me. There were areas that reminded me a lot of Graveyard Games. So that's the closest we'll get to a spoiler. Yeah, it follows the house pretty good. And also, if you watch Hill House, actually just got a question from I haven't watched the last episodes of Hill House just yet.
And I told him and a few other people in our group, because there were other people in our group that hadn't seen the last few episodes of Hill House. The house at HHN is very much based off of like the last 2 episodes. There's not a lot from like the beginning part of the series. It's mostly like those last 2 or 3 like crazy episodes. So if you haven't seen those, it might not make as much sense. So that's why I've been telling him we need to watch those, so that, because he's like, why is there like a flapper girl in it? And I'm like, we haven't gotten there yet.
Definitely, you need to see the last 2 episodes, of course. But going back to just the house at the event, there's a lot of like really good effects. There's just like one that was just, it blew. Oh my God.
There's also the first thing that I mentioned after we left Hill House. Keep in mind, this was our first house of the night. And I didn't really notice it as much in the other houses, but there were a lot of like diversions away from the actual scare. So there would be something that you're supposed to look at over here, and then the scare was over there, which helped a lot, especially with the like plexiglass, because it didn't look at didn't look.
Keep going.
You got it?
Yeah, I'm fixing the light.
So when you're going through, you're not looking right at the plexiglass, and that's where like the scare happens. So that was one thing that helped a lot in that house.
Maybe this will help with the blurriness on me. Okay, but Hill House was great. Third house in our ranking was between Case Files and Icons. Every day I think about those kind of flip flop. Case Files was like we said, it was fun. There's a lot of history to it, and Icons was really cool. We got to see all the icons. They were also like, I realize you're kind of blurry still. Like,
yeah,
we're having camera issues, so if it's blurry, just let us know. Maybe we just turn one on and leave it. But with the icons, though, we got to see all the icons. We got to see them in their own like atmosphere and their scenes and all, and it was just lots of fun. Like, Icons was lots of fun, and what was really cool is at the very end. I don't know if I'm spoiling too much now. The house changes. That there's a change in the house all the time, and it's not. We thought it was gonna be like every weekend there's gonna be different. No, it's every night at every hour. There's like a different thing. So every time you go in, you're gonna experience something completely different.
We think it's every cast change. It changes a little.
Probably. So like every 45 minutes.
It's kind of cool.
Number 5 house. See, now I'm blanking out.
What did we say?
We had a list. Guys, hold up. Let me.
Was it Texas Chainsaw?
No, Texas was lower. I'm gonna find that.
We also got a question: what houses did you work in? Brian worked in American Horror Story, Halloween 4, and we both were in Classic Monsters. And then I was also in Blumhouse for Happy Death Day.
So our number 5 house, sorry, I know I had a list, and as I think about it, I can't even think of a list, but number 5 house was Puppet Theater. Now, Puppet Theater was really cool. It was a little freaky, weird.
Yeah.
Which was cool. It was his own creepy vibe. Puppet Theater's facade was awesome. At night, like, honestly, any of the outdoor facades are a lot better at night because that's when their full effects are running. But Puppet Theater's facades was a little intimidating. It was big. It also had a smell to it. That was really cool. Puppet Theater was cool. There was even a scene where I was looking forward to, which didn't exactly look the way I thought it was going to look, but it was good. It was a huge, like, you're in the theater and everything. They had somebody like that was actually, you know, like in those old theaters, they have those people that pay to be up on the little top booths or whatever. There was somebody like way up there that was doing a scene.
Which is crazy because if you think about like the structure of the like haunted houses, like the walls in between the haunted houses are like pretty much plywood. So the fact that they have someone like up there is like, I was like,
I don't
whoa.
trust that. Yeah. But no, the house was really good. The house was creepy. It was good. There was also a lot of like long hallways in this house, which I love as a scare factor because it feels like you're never going to get to that end.
Yeah.
And you know something's going to pop out. But there's times we were just walking for a little bit all the way down this hallway with nothing. And it was a little creepy.
Was some comedy in it a little bit, which is different for a haunted house.
Yeah, so it was a good house. So I would give that 5th. All right, now
pulling up that one.
I'm trying to get the 6th one. Yeah, 6th one we had Beetlejuice. Now Beetlejuice, it's a fun house. It's a good house. Scary, very fun. We like it. However, it's like this opening weekend it set the bar to be at its lowest possible. I think it's going to get better as the event does go on for Beetlejuice because there was also, every time we went, there was a lot of holes in that house.
I will say that the masks on the characters didn't really take away from it that much other than Beetlejuice. They have Beetlejuice wearing a mask throughout the whole house. And for some reason, like that took away a little bit for me just because like that's an iconic character. You can see him in the park during the day without a mask on. And it just kind of like feels weird to have him have a mask on. Don't you think?
No, I mean, I agree.
But for the other houses, I didn't really notice it. It's just for Beetlejuice specifically.
That's why I said like the mask was my biggest disappointment for certain characters because their face is their feature. And some of them that you expect to have their full face to see was covered up, which took away. But the plexiglass wasn't too much of an issue. There's some parts we weren't really fans of it just because it got so marked up. You couldn't even see the actor on the other side for like 1 or 2 of them. But I think they're going to start replacing those and either cleaning them out or whatever. But it wasn't too much of an issue. They had some of the houses, like Hill House was set up to a way where you didn't notice that there was plexiglass. So it was pretty good. So that's Beetlejuice. And then we're going to see some things that you guys
answer a few questions. So
we're going to get to number 7 in a second.
So which house is the most detailed? I don't know. I feel like Case Files is very detailed.
Small details.
Yeah.
Like there's like little written notepads on desk and sticky notes on the walls that each have details to it.
And then Wicked Growth was also very detailed.
Full of detail as well. Like there's a scene where you're actually like inside of a pumpkin. Like if you don't look at the walls, you wouldn't have noticed that. Dang. Even Scary Ohio had a lot of details to it.
Yeah.
Hill House was very detailed.
Honestly, all of them.
I mean, they're all detailed. But if I had to pick one that has like the most minute, small details, probably Case Files. I'll say Case Files has a lot of those details where you want to take a minute to like look at and take your time.
For sure. And then, I'm not going to say that. It's a spoiler. Catching myself. And then what characters, if you mean in Monsters, he was, do you want to say it?
Yeah. So, for instance, for you guys that don't know, we were scare actors for Horror Nights before. I did HHN 27, 28, 29. Steph started in 28 and did 29 as well. I was Bloody Face in American Horror Story for my first year. And then I was Michael Myers for Halloween 4. And then that year, Stephanie was Tree from Happy Death Day.
Yeah.
And then in HHN29, I was Dracula and Steph was Bride of Dracula. That's how we met. Yeah. But yeah, those characters, favorite one by far, Dracula.
Yeah.
I mean, by far, just
yeah.
I miss him. I actually we got a whole bunch of Dracula stuff over here.
Yeah, if you can't see it. And then is a Beetlejuice house scary? I would say no.
It depends on your
So
for instance, Stephanie's scare factor like level, like she can handle this, and mine I can handle like this. But it was easy for me to go through without issues. There was like one or two like triggers that are, I mean, the triggers is what scares you the most. It's the loud part. Because when Beetlejuice comes out, you're not scared of him. You're just thrown off by the complete surprise of loudness. And that's what got me. But other than that,
yeah, not really. That's probably lowest as far as like scary.
Oh, it was probably the least scariest house I've been in. Like Ghostbusters, it was a little more than Beetlejuice.
I wonder if you were the Dracula who accidentally touched my face. Probably.
Look, there is I wouldn't call some things accident, but
oh my gosh. But yeah, and then someone said that they are also a scare actor and asked if we have ever been hit. I was never hit, but I did get touched a few times. Never hit though. At least not on purpose.
HHN27 holds the record probably for the most times I've been hit, which I promise you is 90 plus. Like there was a lot of we that house, the design for it where I was, it was a big issue, and we kept having issues where me and the guests were not getting along. So that's all I'm gonna say.
And then someone said they remember me in Blumhouse. Yes, I was the first tree who like screamed and then got killed. So that was my first HHM role. I got killed every night, multiple times. Yeah,
and I was the guy in the mask who killed women with a knife, except for Drac had teeth.
Did you try any of the new food? Yes.
Yeah, we did. We actually tried a lot. Not a lot, but we had a good amount. Hornites has a crap ton of food to try. But it's in our last video of some of the things that we did try out. Pizza fries was still my favorite. But then they also had this like PB&J Uncrustable thing. Holy smacks. That thing was amazing.
The No Chance in Hell PB&J.
Yeah.
And it's like a deep fried Uncrustable covered in honey, and it is amazing. We did try the Monte Cristo on a stick. Yeah. We got it and it was kind of cold already, so that was like right.
And then we also got the jacked donut slider thing, which like me, I thought it was okay, but it wasn't as good as
I don't like sweet and like savory mixed together, and the taste of like cheddar cheese on a maple donut was just not it for me. I did not like that.
Also Machiavelli asked something. Hold up. Sandy Ben, hello, what's up? Now, Machiavelli, would you guys recommend doing the houses at night and the rides during the daylight? Honestly, like, if you can do Stay and Scream, of course, do the houses once they're open.
You get through more very quickly.
Yeah.
Now, if you have Express Pass, you could get through all of the houses at night after dark very easily.
Mm-hmm.
But that is like your optimal time to like capitalize on the low waits.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing Stay and Scream is like right at the beginning.
Yeah.
But we do agree that while it's still light out and it's not like fully the event yet, it does feel a little like you don't get the full effect.
Yeah. Now, as to the rides, though, depending on what rides you want to go on, I would say Rip Ride Rocket's better at night. Mummy, you can go either time.
Yeah.
Gringotts, you can go either time. Transformers, either time.
Yeah.
And I'm missing one. Oh, and they also had the Simpsons ride. That was open either time because those are indoor rides where Rip Ride is actually outdoor. That's why we recommend doing it at night, because when you're going up, you can also see all of HHN, which is really cool as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say the rest you can do during the day if you wanted to.
Yeah.
All right.
Christopher asks, this is off topic from HHN, but are you going to be at Disney for the 50th? Not the day of.
No.
Not the day of.
We're not going to be there October 1st or the 2nd or the 3rd or the 4th or 5th or 6th. We may, if the next time we go to the 50th, may not be until mid-October.
They sold out or like ran out of annual pass holder reservations like months ago, I'm pretty sure. I think they might have opened more up, but we have different like ticket types. So it's very hard for us to get Disney reservations right now with the whole reservation system. So we go like when we can randomly grab a ticket for like the same day, but for like special events like that, it's very difficult for us to get reservations.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So we got some people saying Michael Myers, Loomis fighting. That was a good scene. Love that. Steph. Yep.
Yeah, that's the one
She was tree. All right. Did you try any of the foods? Yeah, we just said it. Tried a couple of them. Oh, never mind. We're trying to catch up. My bad.
Do we know if any of the food booths are open during Stay and Scream?
No, I did not see any. But most of the food booths are at the Front Park in New York, and we stayed in the Simpsons where there was like 2 or 3, and they weren't open until the event opened up.
Yeah.
So I would expect
but
to have them
there is
open.
like the daytime food is open. Like we went to the Springfield area, like the food, I forget what that's called, but we went there while we were in Stay and Scream. So if you need food during Stay and Scream, there's stuff open, just not the like HHN booths.
Now Elizabeth said, are there additions to Brides in the 2 fairy houses? I don't know if Universal has any posted. I know recently though they did. Didn't they post an audition for just Hornet?
Additions. Not auditions.
Go ahead, you answer that.
Yes, they did just recently post auditions, but there aren't necessarily additions, but they did change some things. Like they took, if you went through Brides last year, they took away like the one area that's almost like has like a cage around it where Frank is and the bride, and I think there's vampires up above. They took those like bars away, so it's not as closed off.
2 things. They added more scare actors, and then there's a couple scenes that have a little bit of change. Pretty much it.
But it's not like completely
different. I was gonna say the ground is pretty much still the same.
Yeah.
So
is it easier to get? Oh, I also remember there was a question way up there that we missed that asked if Nightmare Fuel or Marathon of Mayhem was better. It depends on what you like.
2 completely different shows. I honestly, I can't even say which one was better because Nightmare Fuel was a full stage show, which was awesome. There was pyro. There was a little bit of magic in there, which definitely loved. I mean, they're 2 completely different shows. Honestly, I love the Lagoon show because I love water shows. It's kind of cool to see that. But I think Nightmare Fuel was a longer show, but it was just really good. So I would say if you had to pick one to do, if you can only do one or the other, do the Nightmare Fuel show. Get there early because they pack up and they sell out for those quick. And then the Lagoon show you can see as you're walking by. Like they have it posted. You can pretty much do that anywhere.
You can hear the music and everything. But Nightmare Fuel was amazing. I liked it a lot better than Academy of Villains. Both years that it was in Fear Factor. So Cyberpunk and the other one. I forget what the other one was. But
we also got a question. Is it easier to get a spot for the 2 shows? Halloween Nightmare Fuel is a battle. You got to get there early. Like, honestly, get there like while the...
No, because the last one, they're an hour and a half apart.
Yeah. I would say get there an hour before, to be honest.
A half an hour, I feel like. We got there
45 minutes.
We got there like 15 minutes early, and it was already like shoulder to shoulder. It was
slammed. But we actually got lucky with some VIP seating, so we were able to get in, but I don't know if they were able to get everybody else in. Because if we showed up the time we did, I promise you we probably want to get in. But the Lagoon show, we did the last Lagoon show, which I think was at midnight or 11 o'clock. It may have been at like 11.
We did the 11 o'clock one.
Yeah.
But there was also one at midnight.
Was there?
Yeah. Because it was 9, 10, 11, 12.
I thought we did the last one then.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, whatever one we did, we got there 20 minutes before, and there was plenty of space. So the later Lagoon shows, you'll be fine getting there 10 minutes.
And even. That's all like standing room. So as long as you fit in, they'll let you get in there.
Do we go to other haunted houses in other states? We haven't yet, but
we were told by some subscribers that we've met at the event the other night that we should go to Netherworld. So I'm trying to talk him into going to Netherworld, but
maybe we may not do anything this year outside of the state of Florida because we already have a lot of haunts we're doing here in just Central Florida. Yeah. But next year we're probably going to plan to go to HHN in Hollywood, and we may even plan to go to like Georgia for some or Alabama and just anything that's in the local areas, the southeastern part. So planning that.
I've been to a lot in Ohio when I was younger, but that's it.
Yeah. Now we also got a question. We're going to try to go ahead and cut through these really quick for you guys. because we don't want to get behind like we did last time. Was I the Dracula over saying devour them? Yeah, yes. That was me going to bed every night. I heard devour them a billion times.
Over and over.
Will we doing Hollow Scream? Good question. Yeah. Yes. Friday and Saturday, we're doing Hollow Scream at SeaWorld for Friday. And then Saturday, we travel to Tampa Bay to do Hollow Scream in Busch Gardens. Yeah. So we're going to be getting videos of them. They're going to be separate videos. Don't know when we're going to probably have them posted. Maybe Monday for SeaWorld, and I'll try Wednesday for Busch Gardens. Yeah. It just takes us so long to edit these videos, guys. It really does. And we may go to Horror Nights tomorrow as well. For Thursday, we may go on Sunday as well. So it's like we have no time. We're just trying to do the event.
Do we like working or being a guest at HHN more? So that's really hard because it's so different. It's so much fun to be a scare actor, but it's also exhausting, and you don't get to go to the event as a guest. So,
I'll sum it up pretty quick for you. Ready? I was Dracula for 29, and I had a blast. Like, that was one of the coolest characters. So I would pick that over being a guest. But for instance, certain roles may not be as great where you're like, I'd rather be a guest. It just depends on your experience. Yeah. So that's all I would say.
What rides are going to be open for SeaWorld's Hollow Scream? Oh, I'm not sure.
I think Mako, Kraken. I think they talked about Journey to Atlantis and Mantis. I think their main rides will be open. Yeah. Icebreaker, they were planning a while ago to have that try to open up for this one, but they confirmed it won't be February. Until next year. Yeah, we're getting behind.
Yeah, we're getting behind.
All right, so I'm going to skip forward. If we miss your comments and questions, we apologize.
Yes.
We just don't want to get too far behind.
We did turn the super chats on for this time, so if you really want a question answered, you can use that.
Yeah,
because it'll like pop up in front of us.
Yeah, we'll be able to see it, but you guys don't have to do that, of course.
Of course. Yeah.
But I do want to say let's get back to our ratings list real quick. So we had Beetlejuice in 6th, and then 7th we had Scary Ohio, Horror in the Heartland, which was the biggest disappointment in my life. I kid you not. That was our #1 most anticipated house, and we were looking forward to it. And we went through the first run, and we came out going, darn. But like I said, it's opening night. They have a lot to still work on. And we went twice in the house. The second time was a lot better. That's why I came up to 7. It just got that much better. But the house felt short. It felt very short. And
I mean, it's that tent that's smaller, so it's hard. But
it just didn't hit it for us. We were a little bummed out, but it was still cool though. There were still cool details, and there was some.
And if you're like a big fan of Horror Nights and you've been a lot of years and you've done all of the like Cary, Ohio houses, you may like it because it's like kind of like an homage to that.
Yeah. So, but I was gonna say there's just like past throwback system houses, which is cool. But
Also, someone did ask if we have been to Sir Henry's. We did go last year, and we are going this year. We have media night planned for that.
Yeah. So Sir Henry's actually invited us out to do that, which blows our mind. We're like, oh, okay. Yeah. But they got us scheduled for October 2nd, so we'll be going that day to cover some things for you guys. So sometime in that week, I'll have that video posted. Of just the things they have, and they added a lot for this year, so we're looking forward to it. Yeah. And we went to that event last year, and it was incredible.
It was amazing. Yeah.
We also have Scream and Stream.
We always get this wrong.
I'm flip flopping them, but
I think it's Stream and Scream, or no, Scream. I don't know.
It's Stream and Scream, I believe.
Yes.
Or Scream and Stream. It's one or the other. But anyways, we have that this coming Tuesday, next week Tuesday. We will be doing a media event with them as well, trying to cover that, which is super exciting. The only bummer about it is that the person driving can't have some of the drinks they're offering
and can't
film, which I was like.
So I'll be driving.
Yeah, so Steph may be driving. But even like on some of the ads, they have like these like little guns that they're like shooting like some of the scare actors with. So I'm like, I don't know. I kind of want all of us to have guns with whatever. So.
We also got a question.
Swagger Store. Thanks for the super chat. Can I be the first super chat?
You were close.
You could. You're actually technically 7. Daniel actually got it, but we really do appreciate it though. Honestly, what we'll do is like some of the money that you guys send us has supported us, because remember opening night we had our gimbal, which a couple $100 to have that. It ruined.
It
ruined. It got
ruined.
It got ruined because of the rain. And thanks to our Patreon members, the support that they've kind of like helped us with allowed us to be able to get a brand new gimbal, so we can be able to even record that opening weekend. Because if not, we weren't going to get any footage. Like, we were down to the wire Saturday morning, running the Best Buy and recalibrating the gimbal and getting it set up.
We really rely on the gimbal because we love to bring you guys like really good quality shots and like really pretty shots. Yeah, if we can.
Because if you look,
it's so much easier to do that with that equipment. Yeah,
if you look at our first videos on our channel, when I'm walking, I'm a very heavy walker. So if you see like the camera, it's like bouncing and shaking. It's hard for me to do it unless I'm tiptoeing through. So the gimbal allows me to at least walk my pace, and you won't even notice it at all. So we prefer to put the investment into that just to, do a little better quality for you guys.
Yeah. And then are we planning on doing any tours like Unmasking or RIP? Honestly, like we will probably do Unmasking the Horror Tour. My birthday is on October 29th. So we're thinking about doing that for my birthday. And we're probably going to do the 6 house one just because we want to see the houses that are on the 6 house one. We're not like super crazy about the 3 house one. So we'll probably do that. I don't think we'll do an RIP tour just because we like to go at our own pace at Horror Nights, and we don't love like the idea of with an RIP tour, they're like, okay, now we go here. Now we go here. It's great for if it's your first time.
Yeah. I was going to say the way to really decide it, if you're going for one night, RIP tour is a good way to go.
Yeah.
If you're going like us, like 35 nights, don't really need RIP because like we can literally do one house each night and be able to do them 3 times.
Yeah.
So it's like you could, if you want to splurge and be like, yeah, let's just do it. Why not? Like an opening night thing, that'd be cool and all. But really, since we go so many times, we like to go, like Steph said, on our own pace. We don't need it. But for those of you who plan to, like, you're doing it one time and you really want to get everything and all the information you want out of it, RP is the way to go. Yeah. It is a little pricier and you don't need it. Like, you don't, but it's a good way to go. So we won't be doing it, but Unmasking the Horror Tour, we're planning for Steph, which I think we're going to do the 6 house tour.
Yeah.
They have a 3 house and a 6 house tour. And the 3 house tour is Brides, Tooth Fairy, and Case Files, which we really want to do Case Files. But we don't care to see Brides and Tooth Fairy again. Yeah. But then the other ones are the rest of the houses except for Beetlejuice, which we get to see Scary Ohio, Wicked Growth, and Hill House. Those are like another top 3 we want to see, and Icons. So like there's a lot to that we would look forward to.
Yeah. And then how is HHN on Halloween night? It depends on the year. I feel like every year it's a little bit different. Like I've seen videos from before we went of like the last night of HHN and Halloween night being absolutely dead. But then I've also like in the past few years, it's been really crowded on the last few nights, especially Halloween. So it just depends on the night, unfortunately.
I would say prepare for this year to be packed. Yeah. It's the last night. Also, Captain George Cutler, thank you for the super chat. Devour them. If you guys know Devour them, like that, you know, like that was, man. If I don't have I broke my phone, which had all my photos from it, but we had a lot of good photos that year. So, but here, let's go ahead and do our 8th house.
And then what's the latest that you can enter Stay and Scream?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, yeah.
Yeah, you can go like right at 5. I even think like a little after 5 o'clock because they're still funneling all the guests out.
And they don't open it until 5:45. At least the Simpsons area was when we were released.
Yeah, so I would say like just always plan to get there at like 4:30 the latest because it starts getting pretty busy. The line for Stay and Scream, I mean, it went from Central Park all the way down Hollywood, which is a big line. And
then in addition to that, is there any benefit to entering Stay and Scream early? Yes, because we entered early. Yes, you do have to kind of wait there for a while, which kind of sucks. But we got literally like all 4 of those houses in the back done within the first hour.
Okay, so we were in line for Hill House. We were one of the first like maybe 50 people into Hill House. Got out. It was still not even 6 o'clock yet. We went over to Scary Ohio, which was open. We did that. There was like no line for it. Got out there. We went to Wicked Growth, did that, which had like maybe a 15-minute wait, maybe. Got out of that, and it was just now getting ready for the park to open up.
Yeah. So that's the benefit, because if you get in there late, yes, you do get into the park earlier, but you may be waiting in a long line for your first house, and then you're kind of behind.
I'll make sure
Show me the battery.
What?
What?
The battery says it's still fully charged. I don't trust that. I don't trust that at all. But real quick, before we get to the questions, let's get back to our list real quick. We're going to finish our ranking list, and then we'll get back to your questions, hopefully. So the 8th house we had on our list for the rankings was Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 8th. I was expecting this house to be really scary, and the biggest issue we had with that house was the plexiglass, because you have these really tall, burly men carrying a chainsaw that was pretty much like stuck. They couldn't come out to you. Except for there was like one scare that he was pretty much free, and that one was crazy.
Yeah. There just wasn't a lot of movement.
Yeah.
Because they're like in a small area, they're big dudes. So like all they can really do is like hold it up, and that's it. Yeah.
But that house smelled.
It smells so
horrible.
bad.
Oh my gosh.
Worse than if you went 2 years ago, worse than Nightingale's blood pit. It smelled like pigs.
No, it was bad. Texas Chainsaw Massacre was the worst smell I've had. That was bad. But yeah, so that was an 8th. And then we had Brides and then Tooth Fairy for 9 and 10. And just the reason, because we've been through those houses. So it's like, they're still great houses, don't get me wrong. And we actually didn't do them this weekend. We still need to do them. So for those of you that thought we did them, we lied. We didn't really do them. Yeah. We're going to wait to do them next week. We just wanted to do the other houses multiple times, just because we did Tooth Fairy 10 times, Brides 12 times or so. Like, we've done them so many times.
Yeah.
There's not that much of a difference to them.
Right.
So we'll wait until we do them like either the second or third week in the event to see like once the actors get into the realm.
And we were really excited to do the houses from last year and see what had changed. We did Beetlejuice and we didn't really notice any difference. So we were like a little disappointed, because we thought it was going to be like so much better and they were going to be like more scares, and there was no difference. So we were like, we don't really need to do Brides and Tooth Fairy this weekend, because we were pretty busy this weekend. Yeah.
I'm looking into doing your Patreon. You guys deserve. Thank you, Christopher. Yeah, for any of you guys who joined the Patreon, we really appreciate it. We're still trying to work the kinks out with it. Yeah. But we have a couple posts that we put on there. We also put some of the like photos that we take at HHN for like wallpapers, if you guys want that. We're also going to do some behind the scenes soon. We're going to show some exclusive videos that we actually will create and just put for our Patreon members. And it's not like full YouTube videos. Like, anything we're going to do in the Patreon, like at some point, is to some extent on what will be on YouTube. But there's more like behind the scenes, some bloopers things like that. So
we also were thinking about doing a live stream at HHN, just like taking you guys through the park for HHN later in the event, so everybody has a chance to go on their own first. Yeah. But exclusively for our Patreon members, we're thinking about doing that. So.
Yeah, we may do like not this weekend, but next weekend we'll probably do a live or so for the Patreon members, just to give them a huge thanks. Because like I said, what they've been able to contribute to us for this past weekend, we wouldn't have been able to get a video done with that gimbal. So it's a huge thank you to all of them. So we definitely want to pay our Patreon members back with trying to get exclusive content for our channel, but we also don't want it to be where like we're pretty much hounding you guys to join it. Yeah. So like, don't feel like just because we have Patreon, we're not going to do anything for YouTube. We're still going to try to create the best things we can for YouTube, video wise, as well as content, anything that we do. So, but yeah, thanks, Christopher.
Don't have Stay and Scream. Do you have any tips? Get to the park as early as you can to get in line, so that you're one of the first ones in the park when it opens to the general public. That's like tip number one. So the first night we got there at 2:00 and there was people already sitting down waiting. That was opening night though.
That was opening night.
It won't be like that every night.
Yeah. But it just goes to show you there are going to be people who are like getting ready to go for Horror Nights. But honestly, the event starts at 6:30. I say get there 3:30 at the front, 4 o'clock, because that's when it starts building up. I think 4 o'clock, an hour before the park closes, they start filling up. So
yeah.
Also, there was one up here I wanted to see real quick. Oh,
you good?
Yeah, did this freeze? I think it freezed or froze. Froze.
Freeze froze.
Oh no.
The question was,
oh, there we go. It worked.
Is Seek and Destroy going to improve? We hope so.
I'm gonna just throw this out there. Scare zones, our ranking list, number 1 was Eddie's Revenge. 2, we had Gorewood Forest. Then we had 30 Years, 30 Fears. Then we had the Crypt TV, and then Seek and Destroy was our last one. And the reason being is because all the scare actors look the same. And
they're not very scary. They're just like in like fencing costumes.
Yeah, it looked like fencing costumes. Or like, have you guys seen Wreck-It Ralph? That there was a meme that I saw where like Turbo, there's a bunch of turbos walking around. And that's really what it was. Now,
and I was so excited for like whatever show they were gonna do, and it's just like it's really basically like what they did with Chucky, where they have like an actor like responding to the guests and like talking and stuff, but it's not funny, so it's like not super entertaining, and it's just like, I don't know. I miss Vamp 85.
I agree. Yeah, this zone really like did not hit it. Eddie's Revenge was amazing.
Yeah.
And it's going to get better, but they had scare actors all over the place. I think that's what we loved about it. The scare zones that have more actors roaming around, there's more like energy and dynamic to it.
Yeah.
That's the one that's going to win it. Gorewood Forest was amazing. It was beautiful. It was nice. It got better over the run, and I know that one will get better. Yeah. It's just such a small scare zone. They can't really do much. Now, I will say the Terror Queen little part where she was out there, very disappointing. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it. HHN really disappointed me with that. Like, harsh words, but I was expecting a little more of a show there with her, and there really isn't. So it's nice seeing her, but like they just kind of put her there, and that's it. They don't have anything added for her.
The one cool thing about this zone, though, is that the triggers, they like put triggers in this scare zone and like little boo holes for the scare actors, and actually got us a few times, which like I normally don't get scared in any of the scare zones because you can see them coming at you for the most part. And they like put those triggers in there and the boo holes, and those scare actors get people like all night. So that is one really cool thing about that scare zone.
Jennifer V, glad you can make it. Lunch break for work. This is our work.
And then what?
It's fun. But also, what kind of camera do you guys use in the parks? So when we first started, we had a Sony a6000 that we used, and we went from having a GorillaPod, which right now we're using to hold this, and then we slowly upgraded to getting a gimbal. We got the Moza Aircross, and then we got the Nikon Z50, which is the one we currently use now. The Nikon Z50 we've had when we were back in August, when we started moving back here and getting all this. So we just recently got this camera, but we have a couple of cameras we're using now.
Yeah.
So,
which Stain Scream location is best strategy wise? Yeah. I don't know.
In my opinion, I'm gonna say Simpsons.
Yeah.
Because you have Beetlejuice, Hill House, and Scary Ohio that open up. I don't know. Like I said, we didn't do Finnegan's area, so we're not too sure about the front there. That could be better. We have to do it this weekend, and we'll see. But we were able to do Hill House like right off the bat. Beetlejuice was a longer wait to do, but that's what we did it later in the night, and we had Express Pass. But you can go like the last hour and a half of the park closed. All those houses were like a 10-minute wait, if that. So we would recommend doing those. Then going back to the other houses, doing the wait for that, and then you can head back for the last few hours and knock all those out quickly again. Just depends on what you want to do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Then Natalie asked, I'm going to HHN in 1 month. What advice would you give me?
So Natalie, I would say the biggest advice, if you can do Stain Scream, do so.
Yeah.
If you have Express Pass, you're good. But biggest advice would be have fun, don't stress.
Yeah.
Have a game plan.
Yeah.
You don't have to be like nitpicking like 8:45, we're gonna do this. At 9 o'clock, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, 10 o'clock here.
Have a game plan.
Just have a game plan of where you're gonna start and which way you're gonna go, what houses you want to
Yeah.
do, and
Maybe
if you're
look
going to
up-
do shows or not.
Yeah, maybe look up the food ahead of time, see what food you want, because you can waste a lot of time like wandering around being like, I don't know what food I want.
Yeah.
So decide ahead of time what you want to try. So then you can just like go right to those booths.
Yeah,
get
and
it.
those booths have long lines too.
Yeah.
There's parts we were going throughout the day where it's like 30 minutes just to wait for one booth.
The Twisted Tater line was insane every time we went by
crazy.
it. So
Yeah, and the pizza fries was crazy throughout the night, except when we went was the last hour. The park was open and there was no one there. So you can plan out how you want to do things a little different.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, we got to catch up a little bit.
If I'm going for 5 nights, is it worth it to get frequent Fear Pass with Express? You probably don't need Express if you're going 5 nights. It does make it a lot more enjoyable just because you don't have to wait in lines and you can do the houses as many times as you want, but you don't necessarily need it if you're going 5 nights.
Yeah. I was going to say, if you're going to go 5 nights, you don't need it, like, period. Yeah. But if you have the budget for it, it definitely allows you to be able to go through the houses as much as you can in those 5 nights without having to wait for so long. But if you want to save some money, maybe do Express Pass like one night. And then the other nights you can plan like this night's just going to be for the treats and this night's just going to be for the shows. And then we'll do like our favorites on this night or whatever. Yeah. So you can really just take your time and enjoy it, especially if you don't, which depends how you are. But if you don't want to do like from HHN opening to HHN closing, because that is exhausting, especially doing it for 5 times. So it just all depends.
You need to do a Horror Nights guide for wussies. We could probably do that.
I could be your host for that one.
Yeah.
So, we also got a question. Is Eddie's Zone location called New York? It's actually in the Hollywood section. So once you enter to the park, it's directly to your right. You'll see the street.
The streets of Hollywood. And then New York is where Seek and Destroy is.
Mm-hmm. What time do you recommend getting to the Stay and Scream location? I would say an hour before park closing. So if park closes at 5, I would say get there at 4.
4:30.
Yeah, because they actually didn't let anyone in until 4:30.
4:00. It was 4.
Oh, 4:00. So 4:00 they didn't let anyone in, but at 3:30 there was already a crazy line going. So if you get there at 4:00, you'll be fine.
Yeah. I feel like 30 Years, 30 Fears looks misleading. From the set, you would think the main icons would be there.
Yeah. Elizabeth, 100. That was the one thing about 30 Years, 30 Fears. Like
we were disappointed.
It seems like half a scare zone.
Yeah, we heard this. Long. We heard this from some of our friends before the event started. They were like, "Yeah, the 30 Years, 30 Fears is not icons. It's literally just like random characters." And we were
from
like,
the past, yeah.
We were like, that can't be right. They literally said there were going to be icons, right? And then we got there and it was like just random characters.
So it was a little of a letdown, but it's still a cool looking zone. It's just there's not much to it because it's very small.
Why does the Terror Queen have a baby face?
Yeah, no, literally, like Terror Queen looks like
a little kid.
Yeah,
it looks like they took like the baby face mask from Happy Death Day and just like
shrunk it and then put makeup on it. It was disappointing.
Which Stay and Scream location do you recommend? Whichever one, like whichever houses you're most like anticipating. So if you really want to do Brides, if you really want to do Texas Chainsaw, go to Finnegan's. If you really want to do Hill House and Beetlejuice, go to Simpsons because those are going to have longer lines. And if you do Stay and Scream, you can make sure that you get in those without the long lines.
Yeah. And then Woe Davey on top of that asked how many houses were we able to do? When we did the Springfield one, we were able to do 3 of the Stay and Scream houses like that in 30 minutes or so. And then
we could have done all the houses that night. We decided not to do Brides and Tooth Fairy to go through icons and case files a second time. But you could do all of them. If you do Stay and Scream, depending on the lines, obviously.
So, for instance, on opening night, we did Scary twice. We did Wicked Growth twice. We did Puppet Theater once. We did Hill House twice. Beetlejuice once. We did Case Files twice. Icons twice.
We did have Express, though.
Yeah, and we did have Express. TCM, and then we didn't do Brides of Tooth Fairy. However, though, even if we didn't have Express, we were with some friends who were able to do everything without Express.
Yeah.
And that's how it was for the first night. Now, the second night was a different story. That was more of a packed night.
It was busier.
So I'm not too sure how that would have been without Express.
Yeah.
I'll be in HHN less than a month. Yeah,
I feel
it's exciting
emotional.
for all of you guys who are like still waiting to go to HHN. It's gonna be a fun year. This year is really gonna be fun. They're gonna get so much better. Opening weekend is just fun to go to, but don't expect to have the top notch scares and for the actors to be fully set.
They're still figuring it out.
Yeah, they still got to get at least 2 weeks to get it fully in.
Favorite food / snacks so far that we've tried. We haven't tried everything yet, but
we do plan to do a video like later in this month where we'll do like as many treats as we can.
Yeah, the Uncrustable, the like PB&J,
that was just awesome.
Was so good. That's probably, and then pizza fries, of course.
Yeah, I'd say those are the two.
We talked about this earlier. Personally, did not like the donut slider. So
yeah, and then we also got a question for, well, not really a question. It's just kind of a comment that $30 for the Scream Early. If you guys don't have access to the park and you want to do Scream Early is a $30 addition that you can get. Which
so worth it.
I was gonna say, yeah, it gets you access in at 3:00. You can even do like a regular ride if you wanted to in the park. Grab a bite. That's what I would do. I would go in, see what the wait times for the rides. If they're not too crazy, maybe do one of them, and then grab like a quick bite somewhere, and then go into your Stay and Scream area to be ready. That's probably the best way to do it. Going to Disney February 10th through February 12th. We'll see you guys there. You'll probably be there. We'll be everywhere.
Yeah. What is Seek and Destroy? That is the one in the New York street that has like the premise is that there's an alien cyborg regime that's taken over New York City, and they're not aliens or really cyborgs. They're just like military costumes, I would say.
It's like a Space Force looking thing. It's kind of weird. Perfect example is Turbo. Or a fencing costume. Yeah. Now, we did get asked, are you allowed to bring your own food and water? You can't bring a meal in. We actually brought our water in from those the refillable, reusable cups that Universal sells.
Didn't say anything.
That's actually the way to go. Like, how much is it for one of those? 15, 18?
Yeah. I didn't even activate it.
Yeah.
I just filled it up.
We just use it for water. So, because they have a lot of like those vending locations around the park that you can just fill it up. And that's what we did. So we didn't have to wait to get like a free cup of water or pay for anything. We just brought one of those and they allow that. So, and you can also bring like a granola bar.
Yeah, I brought like a protein bar with me and they didn't say anything about that.
Well, so have we been to the LA one before? We have not. No. We do plan to next year. And yeah, there's actually a huge difference with the way that even Universal there compared to here is even laid out. But we do plan to go into Hollywood next year, maybe for Horror Nights. Yeah. Maybe.
We'll see. Why should you get to Stay and Scream so early? Just because it fills up very quickly. And if you're at the back of the Stay and Scream area, like when they let you out, you're looking to get into a half an hour long line, like right off the bat. Whereas if you get to the front of it, yes, you're waiting longer before, but you get into your first house very quickly. And then all the other houses after that will be shorter lines.
Yeah. The way I look at it is in this event, you're going to be waiting for something. And I rather go early and wait for Stay and Scream to let me into a house versus the event starting and I'm waiting for the house itself because you're already killing time for the event. So I would get there at like 3:30 in line for Stay and Scream, chill in Stay and Scream, talk to people because there's a lot of people there you can just mingle with, which we did. And then we went inside Hill House. Like I said, we were one of the first groups in the Hill House. So when we got out, we were able to do as many as we can in that area. And before even the park opened to regular guests, we already had a third of the event done. Yeah. Like we were rocking and rolling. So that's the only reason why we recommend getting there early. And then leading on to Stay and Scream, unless you ask if you're a pass holder, do you have to pay for Scream Early? No. If you already have access to the park during normal operations, you don't have to pay for Scream Early. Scream Early is just for those people who don't have access, so they can use Stay and Scream. Yeah. Which icon do we like best? Like the typical like Jack is cool, but I think Fear. Yeah, Fear is probably our favorite icon because he's like the main guy.
He also looked super cool in the Icons Capture.
Oh, you guys are gonna love him.
Yeah,
he's huge.
Yeah,
that's all we're gonna say.
Are the wait times actually true? I feel like the park was packed opening night and the wait times weren't that high.
So opening night, a lot of people actually left.
Yeah.
Universal for opening weekend and this coming weekend is sold out. And opening night, we're like, why? Like, there's nobody. But it's because of the torrential downpour. A lot of locals are like, we'll just go tomorrow. And they left early.
When they sell out, they take into account frequent fair passes. And we feel like a lot of people saw all the rain and everything that was coming in. And people with frequent fair passes, they decided not to go opening night.
Yeah. Which, like, I don't blame them. But it got packed later in the event. But I just felt like people, like, that rain came in and people dipped.
But they are pretty good about the posted wait times. About posting wait times, yeah.
Now, there was some cases like later in the night, they'll keep the wait times higher. And even in the very beginning, they'll keep them higher just so they're not getting a swarm of people. Like, for instance, when we went in Scary for the first time, it said 20 minutes. It took us 2 minutes. When we went to Hill House the first time, they had it already posted like 25 minutes. It's 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the night, too.
Yeah, but then we went to Icons, and it said 55 minutes, and we waited 55 minutes.
Yeah. So more towards the middle of the event, like the night, they're spot on. But in the beginning and at night, it's don't listen to it.
Do you like this year's event? So far, yeah. I feel like the first weekend is always like we said, characters are getting into their groove, figuring out their scares. Honestly, when it comes to houses, the cast's energy can make or break the house. Mm-hmm. So it really depends on like when you go through the house, like the cast's energy for the night, what time of the night it is, which cast you see. And I feel like there was a point at the beginning of opening night where everybody was a little bit off and the energy wasn't super high. And we were like a little disappointed about the event as a whole. But by the second night, and even by like later in the first night, everybody's energy picked up a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Everybody's kind of getting the hang of everything, and we were
they're figuring their stuff
a lot
out.
More impressed. So
yeah,
as of right now, we like this year's event.
I think it's a good start.
Yeah,
because since we've worked the event, we understand like the first weekend, the scare actors have nerves. They're trying to like, do what they can, but by the third weekend is when you find out that golden. I call it the golden scare. It's like when you know what's going to work, what works for different people. So you change it up every now and then. Yeah. So we always tell people just later in the event is really when the scare actors are fully ready to go. And also not even just the scare actors, but like the house ops and the vendors and all that. Everybody's got the event under their belt. So it gets better as time goes on.
The first weekend is the first time that they have it open to guests. So they're still working out all the kinks. There have been a few times in our houses when we worked that after the first weekend, they're like, oh, we have to change this. This does not work.
Oh, there was like every year there's always changes in the first or two weekends that they have to make in the house because they'll realize once they actually get crowds going through, they'll see where some like little hiccups have to be addressed. Yeah. Now, Daniel said, thoughts on Universal making a new park?
We're excited.
Oh, my gosh. Just having a new theme park in the Orlando area gives us something to do. You know what I'm saying?
It'll be busy, though.
It's going to be busy, but from what they seem to have, as long as they do a classic monsters themed land,
we'll be excited.
We'll be ready to go. And it looks good. As long as they just do what they've done for their past two rides, like Hagrid's and Velocicoaster, I think they're going in a good direction. Yeah. I think Disney's got to be careful because Universal they're coming up.
It's another topic. My friend is gluten-free. Do you have any tips? Universal's actually pretty good about like food restrictions. They have gluten-free options. They have vegan options at most places.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, even some of the booths, there was some gluten-free like snacks that they had, and there was some I don't know if it's vegan or vegetarian.
Probably vegan.
You think it's vegan? I think it's vegetarian.
I think they just do vegan because that
to suit both. Yeah. Oh, okay. But they had a couple of options like that. You'll notice like they have a little like leaf that shows like vegan option, and then the GF that shows gluten-free. There's a couple of options we saw. I think. I don't know. I have to look again. One of the things we got was gluten-free.
You can also probably look online. They have menus of different things, and I'm pretty sure online they have like an area where you can look at the like different food allergy friendly options.
All right. Are any of the houses this year better than all of the 2019 houses?
I mean, there were some houses in 2019 that weren't as good, I would say. There are houses this year that are better than some of the houses in 2019.
Yeah.
But
2019, to me, 2019 was a solid year. But
I don't think that they're.
If I could say
right now,
the way I could say it is HHN30 better than 29? No, we just went opening weekend. Is it ever going to be better than 29? I don't know. It could, but if I could take houses from 29 and 30 and put them into one event, that'd be the event to go to.
Yeah.
So I would say that.
I don't think as of right now there are any houses that are better than the best house of 2019, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah. What was our favorite house in 29? We're biased. Classic
We're a little
Monsters.
biased, but
very biased to that.
Oh yeah, favorite house from 29 Monsters.
Yeah.
Are they aliens? Are they cyborgs? Are they from the future? If so, what's with the chainsaws? Yeah, literally.
Actually, I didn't even think of that.
Why do they have chainsaws?
And they have these like red little laser lights, which I get.
Yeah.
But they also have these weird like staff.
It reminds
spikes.
me of Loki.
Almost like the little thing, like TV.
It's Loki.
They're like the TVA.
Yeah,
that's what it really is. It's a whole zone of. Maybe that'll make the zone better.
TVA.
If we just go and think it's the TVA.
If they played the Loki music throughout that,
like the TVA theme.
Yeah.
Then that would be a good zone. Other than that, it's just a little weird. So.
Our fast pass is a good idea. If you mean express pass, yes.
Yes, if you can budget for it.
If you can budget for it. If you can't, it's not like going to ruin your night. If you don't have express, you'll just have to wait in a few lines. But
you'll probably have to plan your day a little more. But if you go express pass, like what we did is we had a plan and then we kind of threw it away because of the rain. And then we were able still to use our express pass on anything we cared to do. That's what express pass does. It opens your options to do whatever you want in the time you want to do it.
Yeah. So when the event is sold out, like it was opening night, if you leave to eat at City Walk, is there an issue with re-entry?
No. So when they mean sold out is that they weren't selling any more single day tickets or any more frequent fear passes.
Yeah.
So if you had a ticket for that night,
you're good.
Whether it's a single night or frequent fear, you're good. You can go in and out. But they did not have anybody else purchasing like when they got to the gates because they couldn't really like hold the spots for attendance. So if you leave and come back, you should be fine. We just got it. Yeah. Ozzy, I got RIP for Hollywood one day. I'll RIP Orlando with you. Ozzy, thank you so much for the super chat. Loved hanging out with you on a little bit of Friday, but on Saturday as well. Yeah. But you'll have to let us know how Hollywood is. I think it starts tomorrow or Friday. Yeah, starts this weekend. So let us know how that goes in Hollywood. And then we'll have to go out there one day and we'll have to do RIP tour with you over there at Hollywood. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, thank you for the super chat.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Elizabeth also said that Fear looks like an angry Groot. That's kind of funny. Especially the height.
You guys are going to ruin these. I'm just going to be going to these houses and these zones thinking wrong thing. TVA,
I'm not
Groot.
Going to be able to take any of
nobody's seriously. Ruin it for me.
Is there plexiglass in all the houses? There is some in all of the houses, but it's not every single scare.
Yeah, like it's just.
And we actually had a few scare actors like come out of their plexiglass.
There was
don't want to get anybody in trouble.
Yeah, we're not going to say anybody. There was one scare actor that even went through the plexiglass.
Yeah.
Which that was awesome. I was like, whoa. Yeah. Kind of scared me, but I don't know if like they were supposed to do that, but I give my applause to that person because you got me. All right, so I'm doing the 6th house behind the scare scenes for Jack's tour tomorrow morning, and then back to nice. Let us know how the 6th house tour, because that's the one we're thinking about doing. Yeah. So let us know how that goes. That'll be fun.
Yeah. What year did you work? We kind of already answered this, but he was 27, 28, 29. I was 28, 29.
Yeah.
Are you guys excited?
We'll probably do a video about that at some point.
We honestly should because we get a lot of questions about that.
Yeah, so. We'll do a video of our experience and all.
Are you guys excited for Iron Gwazi? I actually have never been on it.
I think it just hasn't opened yet.
I thought it was already open, and then they closed it, and now they're reopening it.
Oh. We're excited. It looks awesome. Now we are going to be going to Busch Gardens Saturday. Stephanie has only been to Busch Gardens once.
Yeah,
I've been
twice, but the first time I went was years ago, and I didn't really do anything.
So the last time that Steph went was last year for their Hall of Scream event, which was it was lower down. They didn't have any houses, just the streets, and we didn't really do any of the rides. Oh, we did a couple. But
we did the one that goes like this.
Yeah, we did Shikra and we did Tigris.
Yeah.
But Steph wants to do Cheetah, and then we'll probably do Iron Gwazi next year. I don't even think it's open for this Saturday. So
I don't know.
Also, I just saw something like walk by. See, I don't know if this place we're in is haunted or not, but like lately I've been getting a lot of like things have been happening. It's been crazy.
It's just because of HHN.
It's my mind. All right, so Fast Pass is a good idea. Like Express Pass, yes. I made it to the live. Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad you were able to make it, man. Yeah. We're gonna try to catch up to all these comments real quick.
What's your least favorite house? Ooh, least favorite house. I feel like that's kind of mean.
So I can't. Okay.
Because
you can't really say least favorite house. You can't really say that because all the houses are very different. I would say our least favorite experience of going through a house this opening weekend was probably Scary Ohio.
This weekend, yes.
Because it let us down. Because we just had high expectations for it.
He did say ever, though.
Oh, ever?
Ever.
I would probably say, what's the one with the fish people?
I was going to say, we're going to have the same one, Depths of Fear.
Depths of Fear.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, Depths of Fear was high on my list. I was really looking forward to that, and it didn't really hit what I was hoping to. So I was like...
Yeah. Is Apple Pay acceptable? I don't know. I feel like yes, because they all have those little
It's gotta be.
They all have the things that you pay at that have like the little spot to touch your phone too. So I feel like yes, but don't take my word for that.
Yeah, we'll have to look. That's a good question. I gotta look that up. Also, Trey said hi from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. Which, if you guys don't know where Saskatchewan is, if you know where like North Dakota is, like Wisconsin area, it's just north of that in Canada.
I didn't know where that was.
So. New to the channel, great content. Any rumors for next year's houses? Next year's houses? Ooh. Just forget this year. Let's get ready for next year.
Not yet.
Honestly, I don't know. However, I had somebody that I know pretty well of that talked about Scream possibly making a chance. I don't know. I feel like every year people talk about Scream coming to the event, but that'd be awesome if Scream could be a house. Yeah. So,
but no like rumors yet.
Not yet. Let us finish this year's event. We'll get ready for next year again.
Does the plexiglass take away from the mazes? I would say for some scares. For some of them, it's fine. Yeah. For some of them, you can see where it's coming. Like we talked about, Texas Chainsaw, I think it took away for that just because those guys are huge and they're stuck behind those little like glass dividers. But for some of them, you can't even really tell.
Yeah, I would say it's honestly 50-50. Like some of them, we didn't care that they were there, honestly. And then there was a few like stuffs at Texas. And there was also the only problem we really have is some of the plexiglass gets marked up. And so you can't really see the scare actor.
Yeah.
So
Megan asked, do I need Scream early if I'm staying at a resort to be there for Stay and Scream? Yes. The resort doesn't get you in to the park early. Yeah. So you would need that.
Yeah. If you have
unless you're doing a daytime ticket.
Yeah. If you actually have a ticket to go to Universal during the day, then you'll be fine. You don't need to Scream early. But if you don't have any park access, then yes, you have to get Scream early.
Yeah. RJ said they should have replaced Scary or Tooth Fairy with Halloween or Candyman. I would love to see Candyman. Now, I know that's Jordan Peele, right? Mm-hmm. I think so. And I know that they did like Us and everything. So I could see them doing a Candyman house. I don't know when that movie comes out. And I know sometimes they don't like to have the houses released before the movies because there might be like some spoilers. But that would be a cool house. Yeah. If the movie's any good. We'll see. Sandy Ben, it's the Tulpa.
Don't mention Tulpas. Also, Blue Hawk got their ticket for September 29th. Awesome. What day is September 29th? Let me real quick. I'm gonna pull it up. My handy dandy notebook. It's a Wednesday. We'll probably be there if it's Wednesday. Maybe. But yeah, if so, we'll definitely go. We post our updates on Instagram. Oh, okay, cool.
We have to watch it.
You'll have to watch it. I'm not.
I'll have to watch it.
But yeah, we'll probably be there. Like I said, I think you were the one that asked the question about the mask and dividers if they took anything away. I think it's still a heck of an event. Yeah. I know there are some parts where we're kind of bummed about it, but compared from the first night to second night, we had a blast. I mean, for instance, we haven't had Horror Night since 2019, so we kind of miss it. All right, so I'm going this Friday for the first time. Sebastian, you're going to love it. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. What was the best reaction to a scare? I love the ones where they drop to the floor. I think that's the best reaction. I just remembered the one that you had where the kid fell into the exit sign.
Okay, so if y'all know Dracula's scene there, there's days that it got intense. Even Halloween 4, there's days it got intense. Oh my gosh. But if there was one that, I mean, Steph just brought up, I'm gonna mention this. There was one that I scared this as like a teenager kid or whatever that freaked out and went head first into an exit sign that was on the floor, busted it completely, and my room completely lit up from all of it. And it was at the point where I was just like, is he alive? Like, is he okay?
He was fine.
There's a couple. Yeah, I mean, he was fine. He ran out. I mean, you know how kids are. And they were all having a good time. I mean, they were all having a good time, but there was a couple that we have where I can't say much.
Yeah, he's had some better reactions than I have. My first year, I wasn't in a good reaction scares.
You're more of a victim.
Yeah.
Like in a sense, which sucks, but in my opinion. But then your past year for Bride of Dracula, Steph was in a good spot too.
Yeah, I got some scares there. Make the hereditary house for Steph. Yes, Elizabeth.
No. Just for you, yeah. You know, Elizabeth, you and Steph can go in that house. I'm good. So,
do you guys like the IP houses or the originals better? This year, that's hard because Hill House was really good, but the originals are really good too.
The originals are amazing. Love the originals because it's their own storyline. But for instance, if you go back to 2018, 2019, and this year, some of the IPs are really cool. Doing Stranger Things was just a cool thing to do. It wasn't scary, but it was fun.
The second year was
yeah. Good. Ghostbusters. It's fun to go through. Love to see Ghostbusters. Wasn't scary. It's just fun to go through the music and all. It's just more of what is it called?
Nostalgic.
Yeah, it's just for nostalgia. But the originals are usually probably the scarier ones. Those are the ones that really deliver because you don't know what to expect. So they can pretty much do anything.
Yeah.
How are the houses on a scary scale? I am seeing things.
It depends. It really depends. We did a video on this, how scary is HHN. So if you're really interested and you haven't watched that, definitely go watch that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're rating it on in terms of all of the haunted houses in the US, probably a 3 out of 10.
It's a low, yeah.
Yeah.
The Horror Nights houses aren't so crazy compared to US, rest of the
They're
raw
just
ones.
really well done.
Yeah. But a good way to put it for this year, Beetlejuice is the least scary house, and next to it's Hill House, which is probably the most scary house. And Hill House, I would say, is probably a solid 8, and then Beetlejuice is
a 2,
1 or 2.
Yeah,
yeah. So that's your difference for it. And if you've seen Haunting of Hill House, that show is represented well, in scare factor. And then if you've seen Beetlejuice, that's exactly what you're gonna get. So that's the way I would compare that.
Have you done? Oh yeah.
Also, Ozzy, another super chat. Thanks, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate the shout out. Definitely give you my thoughts and reactions from Hollywood. Enjoy the supporting my friends. And anyway, my favorite house was Icons. We'll definitely reunite one day. We definitely look forward to reuniting one day, my man. But yeah, Icons was cool. I loved Icons. That was a fun house. I can't wait to see what it becomes later in the event. I think they're going to get a lot better for sure.
We got a question. Have you done SeaWorld? So their first night is Friday, right?
Yeah, 2 days.
So their opening night, and this is the first year they've ever done a Halloween event. Well, we did Spooktacular.
It was for kids
Halloween
kids Halloween.
But their Hollow Scream, the first night is Friday. So we'll let you know how it is.
Yeah. Also, if you keep seeing me getting up, I'm checking the battery because for those of you know, RIP battery. This one's doing good.
And then could you do another live after going to SeaWorld? Yeah. Sure.
So actually, the way we really want to try to do this, we want to try to do a live every week if possible.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to happen just because we have so much content. Like I said, if you guys remember the guide that we did, that one video took us 3 separate occasions to get filming done. And then it took me about 3 other days to just do the editing. It was almost like a 40 plus hour project just for that one video. So when it takes literally yeah. If it takes 6 days for us to do one video, it's hard to put that time into doing a live, especially if our goals are try to do 2 videos a week, but some of these videos just take too long. It takes a while, but we'll try to do a live every week. If that's not going to be the case, every other week we'll do some just to talk about updates.
Yeah.
Because I think even like Horror Nights, there's going to be some updates happening, and it's going to be hard to just make a video just separate for that. So we'll do like a live to talk about it.
Yeah, for sure. A house for Hereditary could just be the mom crying on the ground, and it would be terrifying. Yes.
Banging her head on the wall.
No, crawling down the walls.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Fireworks are going off.
Oh, yeah.
We can literally lay in our bed and look out the window and watch fireworks from Disney. It's amazing.
Is the pizza fries and twisted taters really can't miss? The pizza fries, yes. Twisted taters, you could probably skip. A
lot of people like them. They're good. Like them. They're good. But we don't really see the hype.
They're just like potato chips.
Yeah.
Like softer potato chips.
Agreed.
But
yesterday was awesome. Somebody said HHN Hollywood was pretty awesome.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we can't wait to see video and footage of that for this year. It sucks that they're repeating houses from the past. We understand why, but as long as the event is going on fully, like we're excited for our West Coast friends.
Yeah.
Gigi just joined. Welcome to the live, Gigi. Yeah. How's it going? Welcome back. The food lines were longer than the house lines. In certain areas, yes. Food lines were crazy long. Taters. Oh my gosh.
Bad.
So pizza fries and twisted taters really can't miss. Ooh, hard to think it's pizza fries.
Have you ever been to Fright Fest, a Six Flags Halloween event? No.
Maybe
I haven't. We might go.
If you haven't, there's no way in hell I have. But we do plan like next year to try to like
do more,
spread out and do more. For instance, like this year we have Horror Nights, of course. We got Hollow Scream for SeaWorld this Friday. Hollow Scream for Busch Gardens this Saturday. This Tuesday, we go to the Stream and Scream or Scream and Stream, however you say it. We do that Tuesday. Then, sorry,
you're good.
I'm hearing the same things. But even like tomorrow and this Sunday, we may go to Horror Nights, and then we'll be going to Horror Nights next weekend as well. We might try to do a Screamageddon day planned in there, and then like a week after that, we go to Sir Henry's. Yeah. And along with all of these, we're also going to be doing Horror Nights throughout as well. Did you see that?
No.
Maybe that's just my hand. Okay. So I just finished haunting of a Hill House in the plane, Puerto Rico to Orlando. Nice. I've been prepared for HHN. It's awesome.
Has to be prepared.
Hill House is a great show, and the house itself is really nice. The facade was probably my favorite facade. I think Hill House is. That was the one.
Inside, yeah.
Yeah, not the exterior. When you go into the house, there's a facade of the actual house that you're going to go into. That was probably the most intimidating Halloween Horror Nights facade I have ever seen in my life.
It was cool.
It looks like you're actually walking into the house, and my God, it's scary as hell.
And someone said you don't have to activate the universal cup for water. No. You go up to the freestyle machines, and you can just hit water, and it'll give you water.
Now, sometimes when you like place it there and you just hit it, it won't work. What I do is I just lift it off where the activation is and just use the water. Now, for any of the soda stuff, they'll require that, of course.
Oh, I'm working Sir Henry's. Do you know? We'll be there October 2nd, right?
Yeah, October 2nd so far. Yeah. We might want to go again to see the event, like on our own time. But for the October 2nd, we're going to go for media night. So but that's such a fun event. We love October. We do love October. But for any of you guys that are looking for like not a theme park haunt or something different in this area, like a local haunt, Sir Henry's is probably going to be our number one that we recommend.
Yeah.
It is so well done. They do such a great job over there. Yeah. Like we actually follow Sir Henry's on Instagram, and since like their last season ended, they've been prepping for this year. They've been getting all the stuff they need to, and we've been watching them do their construction. They actually have a new book. They actually have a book for their event that's out. We got to purchase that. But Sir Henry's is awesome. It's an amazing event.
Yeah. All right. Answer the last few questions, then we probably have to wrap it up just so that we don't have another incident.
Yeah, the camera is actually getting low. So if you guys have any last minute questions, like run them down. We're going to try to go ahead and get through them real quick before we head on out. But
favorite facade from this year? Hill House was cool. The Icons facade was pretty cool too.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
But I wish there was just more.
So the way we'll say is top three. We have Hill House, Wicked Growth, and Icons. Icons felt like they could have added more. It felt like there was some empty spacing, but it was still amazing. Wicked Growth was just beautiful. That was just so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, if you guys followed on Instagram, I actually posted this on Instagram of me walking through the beginning of the house, and it was beautifully done. And then Hill House is just the scariest thing I've ever seen, like by far. Least favorite facade ever.
I don't know. Least favorite facade. Blumhouse from my ear.
Yeah, like that 10 area is hard to do, but
it's hard, yeah.
Like Blumhouse even in 27 was kind of bleh.
Yeah.
But I would even say, and I'm gonna say this, I was Halloween 4 in 2018. That was one of my least favorites because there's no really facades for the Shrek building. They don't really have facades. You kind of just enter in it. It's a small little room.
That's true.
So it's like anything in that really house can't do much.
That's true.
Favorite horror movies? I don't have any.
Brian doesn't like horror movies.
The Haunted Mansion.
We talked about this on our last live stream, but I just like classic slasher movies. I also really like the like Evil Dead, the original and the remake, Hereditary, anything by Ari Aster, all that. Brian just doesn't like it.
I'm not a horror guy.
I actually am watching, and this is like so off topic, but I have to tell somebody. I'm watching this new show on Netflix. It's called A Brand New Cherry Flavor. It's insane. If you like horror, anything like really disturbing, it's really good. But yeah.
Oh my God.
That was like so off topic.
All right. And then the last few questions, we're probably got like 5 more minutes, so we're going to cut it off here, guys.
Yeah.
But our thoughts on the show. Watching the Lagoon show was awesome. That was really cool. There's a couple of things I was like, about, but the Nightmare Fuel show was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. That show was incredible. Like the very beginning when they start off, like Stephanie's mouth was like dropped. Like the first like minute, it was like.
I love magic, like magic tricks and shows and stuff, and there was a little bit of magic in there, so it was like, I'm good. Lots
of fire. Now I will say that show is very mature. There's a lot of skin.
Yeah.
A lot of skin.
Yeah.
Saw skin everywhere.
A lot of gyrating type movement.
Yeah, it's
dancing. But
it's a sexy show. Let's put it in that words. But
it's really good.
Yeah, so if you like fire, sexy dancing kind of stuff, like that's all for you. So.
All right.
Also, to do.
You guys are coming to George
so scary. We'll definitely have to do Netherworld at some point.
Yeah. Right, I think that's.
I just started Brand New Cherry Flavor with 7 of my
13-year-old friends.
I was reading that wrong. It was fun. So, but anyways, like that's pretty much going to be it for guys. I would say opening weekend was a blast.
Carlene's favorite.
Did you see that?
No. Favorite house. Our favorite house from this year so far is Wicked Growth. However, that could change throughout the run of the event, as like the scare actors and the house ops get like the hang of everything. Mm-hmm. They change throughout the months and the weeks. And
do you want to go tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go to Horror Nights tomorrow, and that'll be day 3, and we'll see how it changes. But opening weekend, it's cool to go to, but if you're gonna go for like the best scares, save it for later in the event.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, opening weekend, such a blast. We tried all kinds of snacks. We did both shows. We did houses multiple times. I mean, it was fun. We also got to see a lot of like YouTubers there as well, and some other people that were running around. We got to see some of our own viewers too, which was awesome. But we had a blast. Honestly, I can't wait to see like what happens in the event down the road. So.
And no, we can't film in the houses, unfortunately. So that will not be on our channel. Maybe in the future. They have a media night where they do have some like different YouTubers and stuff come in and actually film in the houses, but not this year.
Yeah, not this year, which is fine. It'd be great, but I mean, we want to go and see the house and enjoy it anyways. Yeah. Usually this is the thing. Like for instance, opening weekend's fun, but like Saturday when we were filming, it's hard for me to see the event because I'm stuck behind the camera consistently. So like when we watched the show, the Halloween Nightmare Fuel, like my face the whole time I was here, like just looking, making sure everything looked all right and everything. And so when the show's done, it's like, it's still great, but I want to be able to like go through everything without carrying the camera. So tomorrow we think we're gonna go without taking the camera to film. We're gonna take some video and footage, like photos and stuff like that, on our phone, like on Instagram. So if you don't follow us on Instagram, do so, because you can watch us there. We can talk about it more.
Yeah.
But we're gonna just go to enjoy it. So
yeah,
we're excited. So that's gonna be it for us, guys. I love all the HHN content. We love, like, also a huge thank you to all of you guys. Like,
for sure.
We got back onto YouTube in March, and we're gonna like focus on like HHN stuff and creating as much as we can. And there's times where we kind of like we're behind and like trying as much, but there's some videos that are still doing so well on YouTube. Like, what we really appreciate is that when we went to the event, there's a couple of viewers that we got to meet, and they were like saying thank you for what we've done to help them out. And that's what means the most to us, though. Hey, Adrian, what's up? But the biggest reward, though, is to hear that all the people that we've helped out over the time. And you good?
Yeah, I'm just reading. Sorry.
Hello. But yeah, no, Steph is like, yeah, sure. But yeah, definitely getting to meet like our viewers and to hear that all those hours of doing the videos and doing the research and trying to put it together has actually like is paid off in a sense.
Yeah.
But we're so surprised. Like, we're honestly like almost at 1,900 subscribers, and we're like, thanks, guys.
That's
like we didn't think we were gonna like get to this. We were just like, okay, we'll get like 20 people we can talk to. So we're I mean, of course, we're very humble for what we got, but it's definitely made this fun for us. Like, we look forward going to the park and to meeting all of you guys, and
yeah,
because of you guys, we get to do this. So
yeah, and definitely like Brian said before, if you do not follow him on Instagram, follow him if you are going to the event, because we'll post whenever we're there, and then you can come find us and say hi.
Yeah,
because we love meeting all of you.
Also, now we're gonna make this last minute of us being on here not about us. Lost TV just mentioned something in the comments. It's just a hi and HOS this weekend. Yeah, Hollow Scream this weekend, Friday and Saturday. We're doing SeaWorld Friday and then Tampa Saturday. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
But if you guys don't follow Lost TV on YouTube, you need to go check them out, as well as Instagram. Another great YouTuber that talks about all things Horror Nights and stuff. He was there this opening weekend. He was also completely flooded like we were on opening night. But you guys got to go check him out. Super awesome. Adrian's a great person. But other than that, that's going to be it for us, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining. If you guys are just joining,
sorry.
But we'll
you can watch the replay.
Yeah. So, but that's going to be for us. And we will be tomorrow at Horror Nights. So follow us on Instagram, because we'll be posting about that.
And then Hollow Scream, Horror Nights.
Scream, whatever it's called, Horror Nights.
Yeah.
Sir Henry's.
So definitely keep an eye out, because there'll be lots of content.
It's going to be a fun year. So, but anyways, thank you so much to all of you guys. That's it. Another night wrapped up. Bye. We got to figure out something for the live thing.
Yes.
So,
RIP battery.
3, 2, 1. RIP battery.